Imagine a company so powerful that it had its own army, its own tax system, and even its own territory. A company that began with spices and ended up ruling over 200 million people. This is the story of the East India Company, the world's most powerful corporation, whose legacy is a chilling reminder of what happens when capitalism goes unchecked. It all began on December 31st, 1600, when Queen Elizabeth I granted a royal charter to a group of London merchants. Their mission? Trade in the East Indies, what we now call South and Southeast Asia. They named their venture the East India Company. At first, they were just traders. The mighty Mughal Empire welcomed them, granting permission to set up trade posts in Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta. Spices, silk, tea, and cotton were exchanged. Both sides profited. But over time, the company wanted more than just trade. It wanted control. The real turning point came in 1757, the Battle of Plassey. Company officer Robert Clive, a bold and ruthless commander, used diplomacy, deception, and bribes to win the day. He bought off key allies of Bengal's Nawab, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, including his general Mir Jafar. The battle was less of a war and more of a betrayal. Siraj's forces collapsed, and the company took control of Bengal, the richest province in India. This was no longer just a business. Now the East India Company had become a military and political force, a corporate empire. With control of Bengal, the company began collecting taxes. Revenues that once went to the Mughal emperor now flowed into British hands. Robert Clive returned to Britain fabulously rich, with a fortune worth today's £30 million. He was praised by some, condemned by others. Parliament accused him of corruption. He defended himself, saying, "I stand astonished at my own moderation." But behind the scenes, corruption ran deep. Company officials looted Indian wealth, made fortunes through bribes and kickbacks, and led extravagant lives while common people suffer. Then came disaster. In 1770, Bengal was hit by a massive famine. Between 7 to 10 million people died. But the East India Company kept collecting taxes. No aid was provided. Instead of helping the starving, they punished those who couldn't pay. The famine revealed the company's true character: cold, exploitative, and indifferent to human suffering. It also led to financial collapse. The company, despite its wealth, was almost bankrupt. In 1775, a brave Indian official named Nand Kumar accused the company's Governor-General, Warren Hastings, of corruption. But instead of an investigation, something shocking happened. Nand Kumar was accused of forgery for a document allegedly created years earlier. Despite the weak case, he was found guilty and hanged. This was the first execution under British law in India. Many believed it was not justice, but a cover-up. Historians later called it a judicial murder, engineered by Hastings and his ally, the British judge Elijah Impey. As scandals mounted, the British Parliament finally intervened. They introduced regulations to oversee the company. Even Edmund Burke, a prominent member of Parliament, condemned the company's corruption and exploitation. Warren Hastings was impeached in 1787 in a dramatic trial that lasted 7 years. Though he was eventually acquitted, the trial shook public confidence in the company. Meanwhile, the company's control kept expanding, but so did resistance. In 1857, Indian soldiers, many of them employed by the company, rose up in what became known as the First War of Independence, or the Sepoy Mutiny. It was a massive rebellion, sparked by years of injustice, racial discrimination, and cultural disrespect. Though the British crushed the revolt, they realized the company could no longer be trusted. In 1858, the British Crown officially dissolved the East India Company. India came under direct British rule, the British Raj, which would last until 1947. The East India Company started as a trading business, but with power unchecked and profits prioritized over people, it became a force of colonial domination, exploitation, and destruction. It ruled millions, caused famine, and committed atrocities, all in the name of commerce. It was the original blueprint for how corporations could control governments, create wars, and change the course of history. The fall of the East India Company is more than a tale of greed. It's a warning from history. about what happens when profit becomes more important than humanity. If you found this story eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and let us know in the comments. Which forgotten empire or company should we cover next? Thanks for watching.